Well, hello friends. Welcome to Inkin Latte with Keri Blake and my first episode of Listen at Lunch. I'll be coming to you hopefully live each Tuesday, and the focus will be on tools, tips, and techniques. Yes. So it'll be around noon each Tuesday. I'll try to do my best to get there right at noon. All right, well, I've just poured myself a cup of coffee. Yep. And so let's get started. Today's focus, tools, tips, and techniques, is decorating your envelopes. Okay, let me share a fact with you. Everyone loves to receive a greeting card in their mail. It's a given. In our Stampin' world, we call it Happy Mail. And whether it's handwritten note or it's a note inside a handmade card or just a note saying you're thinking of them, you're touching someone's heart and sending love inside an envelope. So let's dress up our envelopes. Stampin' Up! Has these wonderful Whisper White envelopes that I prefer. We also have Very Vanilla. But we use these envelopes to mail a standard size card, which is about 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And the first thing I'm going to say, unless you're sending, you're mass producing like Christmas, Valentine, Easter, or thank you cards, it always looks best when you use your own handwriting to address the envelope. And your writing doesn't matter because it's the greeting that counts. And you've sent it, what's inside and the time you've taken to write a little note or send something thoughtful to someone is what it's all about. So don't worry about your writing. But Stampin' Up! Has 2 products that you can use. We have a Stampin' Write marker, which has and this is the basic black one that you can buy individually. It has a paintbrush tip, and it also has a marker tip, which we'll use. And so I will show you. And I'm a little nervous, so my writing's not going to be the best. So I've just written out a name using that Stampin' Write marker. You can also use one of our journaling pens, and they come in a set of 2, and they are 0.05 and 0.01. So the tips are a little bit different. The 0.05 is a little bit of a thicker tip, so that's always nice. And we can use this is the 0.05. I'm just going to leave it like that. No, I'll just go a little bit further. Here's the 0.01. So you can see it's a lot thinner. So depending on, you all have your favorite pens, I'm sure you do. I do. So it all depends on what width, the handle. You pick your own pen. Next, what we can do is we can take our Stampin' blends, which are alcohol-based markers, and we can do something really simple. Because they're alcohol-based blends, we want to take a piece of scrap sheet of paper. I just folded up something in quarters, and I'm going to tuck it inside because the alcohol-based markers, the blends, are going to bleed through. So you don't want it to bleed through to the back side of your envelope and look kind of cheesy. You want it to look nice. So here we go. I'm using the dark soft seafoam. I'm going to grab the paintbrush tip side because this also has a marker tip and a paintbrush tip. And I'm just going to go over her name. Easy peasy. Okay. Simple. Yeah. Looks good. This is the light seafoam spray. Seaside spray. Shame on me. So after you write your whole address, you can just shade over with using any of the blends. Of course, you don't want to use one that's too dark because then you're not going to be able to see the address as well. So that's one technique. And you can also do it on the, excuse me, you can also do it on the back if you're addressing your if you're putting your return address on the back side or even in the top corner, you can use the Stampin' Blend and go over it in a different color or whatever. But it just adds something to it, I think. Okay, so that's our first step. The next one is going to be stamped images and borders. So I've selected a couple of my favorite stamp sets. One is the Swirly frames. It is a photopolymer, so it's really easy to see where you're stamping because you can see right through the stamp. And I chose a couple of the, let's go back to this one. I pulled out a couple of the stamps and put them on the clear block so that we can go ahead and stamp away. Let's do... I'm using our ink pad here, and I'm taking the stamp to the ink pad and just tapping. And I used Crumb Cake. This is our Crumb Cake. And I'm going to go right over, I'm going to put it down a little bit. It might be crooked. But there we've got a little bit of a, oh, and I didn't use my pad underneath, so you should have a, you should have some sort of a foam pad underneath so it helps when you get, it helps get all your image on there. But anyway, that's a cool little border. You could even do, let's put this one away so you can see better. And we'll use one of my favorite colors, Old Olive. And these are water-based inks. And I'm going to ink up this long line. Just tap it, tap it, tap it. Okay, now I've got my foam piece underneath when I'm stamping, so it'll be a little better. And I'm going to wing it here, and I'm going to put it right underneath her name. And then I'll write the address underneath her name. So those are a couple ways you can decorate an envelope with stamps. You can also take one of our beautiful envelopes. They're really high quality. I love that. And let's stamp an image. So now I'm using little flowers. Oh, let's do this first. Let's use this. Here's the stamp set I'm using. It's called A Big Thank You. And there are a lot of sayings in here. There are a lot of images that you can stamp. You can stamp a leaf and then stamp the inside of the leaf. There's a little heart. There's great words. You are the best. Thanks. Friends are the flowers in the garden of life. I mean, there's a whole bunch of, a lot of versatility in this stamp set. So I'm using this Big Thank You stamp set, and I've got the swirl. What do you call those? It encompasses what you're trying to focus on. I forget what you call these. Oh well, it's not important. I just inked it up with my Old Olive, which is one of my favorite colors. And I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to address it. Cute, huh? Okay, let's do another one. One of you may be getting these cards too. Okay, now I'm taking the outline. No, I'm going to do the inside of the flower. It's a bold stamp here that will fill in the inside of this flower right here. And I find personally that if you stamp the inside first, it's easier. But let's see if that happens. I'm using Flirty Flamingo for the inside, so it's a softer color. And I'm just going to stamp in the corner. And for the sake of rushing this along, I'm only going to stamp one, but I would probably stamp a couple more if I'm doing this already. So the next stamp I'm using is the outline, and this is Poppy Parade color. which is really pretty. It's a darker, needless to say, poppy color, red. And now you can pretty much see where I have stamped the inside, but it doesn't matter that it even is not perfect. It's so pretty. It's a little abstract and it's beautiful. And whoever gets this is going to say, oh my gosh, how sweet, right? Yes, they are. I guarantee it. All right, one more stamp. Why not take a word stamp? And now I'm going to use my second favorite color, Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to stamp these words. And because this is a photopolymer stamp set, you can see right where you're stamping it. And it can pretty much be perfect. So I'm going to stamp it right along here. You could stamp it on the back. It doesn't matter. Might be a little busy, but it's unique. And you took the time to make it special. Okay, so those are stamped pieces. Let me do a little quick move these away. And the last technique I'm going to show you is we're going to decorate with designer series paper, or what the Stampin' Up! World calls DSP for short. This one is the sampler pack that you get when you join up with Stampin' Up! And it's 48 double-sided sheets. They are beautiful. And I'm going to pick out a couple and show you some fun things to do with designer series paper in your envelopes. So I've picked out 3 pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate the back flap. And you want to be mindful of how it lays. If there's a pattern, of course, you want to make sure that you're doing the pattern the way you want, so when you fold it over, it's not upside down. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so what I'm going to use is our Snail Adhesive. And I'm going to go, I think for myself, it's easier to use the snail directly on the flap. And you'll see why. Okay. So you should get it really close to the edge, which I did not. I still did not, but that's okay. All right, so I taped around the edges of this back flap, and now I'm going to take this, making sure my pattern's right, because I'm kind of a matchy-matchy perfectionist. And, okay, well, it's on there. So I'm going to lay it down, and yeah, it's just a block. You could actually leave it like that and just glue it down. I mean, lick it or use a aqua painter with water in it and seal it down. And you've got a really pretty envelope just like that. I think the measurements are about 2 1/4 by 5 7/8, around 5 7/8. Or you could take your fun paper snips and just cut around the edges. So this would make a really fun birthday card, or just a fun gift card for somebody, because it has little presents on it. So it kind of looks more like a birthday card. See, isn't that cute? Now, who wouldn't want to get an envelope that's all prettied up like this? That is special, I'm telling you. I would, so send me one. You could also do it with masculine paper that we have. I don't need this anymore. So you could do exactly as I did before. You can lay down the tape and on the flap itself, and then put this over the top and then cut it out, or just leave it. You can trim it down with our handy dandy little mini paper trimmer that you can only get as an exclusive free gift with the starter kit. And the last piece that I want to show you is why not just take a strip and put it right on top of your envelope on the front and decorate it. If you want to put your address on there, I would go ahead and you know, write out your address. I'll use this one because I prefer this one. So all right, so there I've put that so far, and I'll probably put my address down below that. So you could just put it that far. It doesn't have to be all the way up, or you could put it all the way up. But easy way to do that is just take your adhesive, Snail Adhesive. I know I'm moving around here. Take your Snail Adhesive, put it all over. Let's go ahead and put it on the side. And you can do two things. You can either take your paper snips and just cut off the end, which is probably just as easy as doing it this way, where you line up your envelope underneath this guillotine, which is self-sharpening, and just trim it off. And voila, you've got this cool little piece of paper, and then you can designer paper. It looks all pretty, doesn't it? Okay, so those are some great ways to decorate your envelope, and I'm sure you have ideas as well. And I hope this inspires you. If you have any questions, be sure to drop off or drop them in the comments section, or shoot me a private message, or you can email me at keriout, KERIOUT @yahoo.com. And if you have any suggestions or requests on what you'd like me to demonstrate in paper crafting with Stampin' Up, please send me an email and I'll do my best to accommodate. If you would like to order any of the products I used today, you can go to my website right here and place your order. And please use the host code here that I have posted. It'll be a different one every other week. And today, March 31st, just so you know, is the last day of celebration, which means every $50 you order in merchandise, you will get to select a free item, a free product from our little mini catalog, our celebration catalog, with every $50 or $100 order. Now, if you have an order that's over $150, do not use the host code, because you can earn your own hostess benefits with that $150 or more order. Plus, if you have a huge order, you better talk to me about the membership with Stampin' Up and signing up with the starter kit, because you, for $99 in tax, you get free shipping. You get $125 worth of your choice of products. And if you sign up today before the end of the day, you also get this mini paper trimmer, which is fabulous. You can just grab it and go. It's super handy, and it's guillotine, so it's self-sharpening. You also get 48 sheets of this designer series paper, and you get a stamp set of your choice of any value out of the catalog. Any catalog that's current right now. And you also get exclusive rewards and a 20% discount on your future orders. So who wouldn't want to do that if your wish list is long? Well, again, I hope I've inspired you today, and I appreciate you checking it out, and let me know how I can help you. Stay well, my friends.